Hello, buddy. Crow back again with continuing my video game collection series, and this is as of the end of 2014, even though I'm filming this in February. But we're going to continue on with my PS1 collection. So I got the long box titles up top, and then the regular sized ones near the bottom. So let's start at the top. Battle Arena to Shinden. Again, that was like one of the first titles I saw for the PlayStation that kind of really surprised me about what the PlayStation was capable of. So I didn't get the game right away, but eventually I did, so I kept that. Battle Arena to Shinden 2, again, really impressed me. I got this copy. I remember it was like 75% off because the box was damaged, and I think this is the same box. Maybe it's not. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think, maybe I got a different copy of it eventually, but yeah. Destruction Derby, one of those games I really enjoyed playing. Discworld, got that one fairly recently at the video games. No, yeah, I think it was at the Video Game Summit. I may have bought this. Yeah, it's just a point-and-click adventure game. Long loading times, but yeah, it's just fun to have and play sometimes. ESPN Extreme Games, kind of like Road Rash, but with different modes of transportation, like bicycling, rollerblading, street luging of all things. So it's kind of a fun game. Frank Thomas's Big Hurt Baseball. This was my baseball game of choice on the PS1, so I kept it. Either I kept it or I bought a copy of it really cheap. I don't remember which, but it's still here. Gex, originally a 3DO game, got ported to the PlayStation, and it's a pretty fun game, so they kept it. I think I rented it once, and I knew eventually, and then one day I just bought it because it was fun. This is Off-Road Interceptor Extreme. There's only one real reason to keep this game, and it's because all the cutscenes have a Mystery Science Theater 3000, like, actually it's not even mentioned on the, oh, here we go. Hate cheesy videos? So do we. Bust a gut watching two trash talkers smack the gratuitous video. So it's like they filmed the video and realized it was really bad and then put their own commentary over it. And that's really the only reason I'm keeping that game. Otherwise, the game, I think it's horrible, but it's worth it for the FMV video. It really is. Ridge Racer, one of the first games I remember. I don't remember if I owned it on the... I think I did have it. I had it on the PlayStation. I had to have. That was one of my first games. That was like a launch title game for it. And man, it's another one of those games that like blows you away when you're coming off of the Super Nintendo. Need for Speed. I remember seeing this on the 3DO way back in the day. And when I saw there was a port of it for the PlayStation, I bought it. And this is just one of those games I've always had since then. Twisted Metal, another one of those games that one look at it really impressed me, so I had to have it. So all this stuff is pretty much nostalgia. For me, the PlayStation 1 is the system where, I was in the military at the time, but I was earning my own money. So almost all this stuff was bought with my own money. So I've got a lot of nostalgia for a lot of these games. Wipeout especially, because Wipeout was the very first game I bought with my PlayStation. I bought the PlayStation in one game, and it was Wipeout. And it blew me away, and I never looked back, as it were. Let's see, we got, down here, we got the regular CD games. We got 3 Extreme. This is going to be awkward, because I don't want to focus on past this area. Maybe it'd be better if I just did this, yeah. So 3 Extreme, like ESPN Extreme Games. I decided to keep it, because it's very similar in nature. Alone in the Dark, my wife wanted to keep that. Animaniacs 10-Pin Alley. I liked the 10-Pin Alley series, and I liked Animaniacs, so I kept the combo of both. Area 51, I played this game in the arcade a lot, so I kept that on the PS1. Atari Anniversary Edition Redux. It has some classic Atari games in there, and then reimagined versions of them, I think. Breakout. This actually uses that special... what kind of controller is it? I don't know. It's got the code for the controller, but it's the one that uses the controller for Ridge Racer Type 4. So since there's like a paddle-like controller for it, I decided I had to keep it. Broken Helix, keeping that one because one of the voices is by Bruce Campbell in here, and I think that's on the back. Yes, right there. It's like the first point. Bruce Campbell, the voice. Yes, then I'll keep the game. Bushido Blade. I remember people loving to play this. Come over to my room to play this a lot. Very unique fighting game. One hit kills and such. This is backwards because the other side is Japanese, but this is Bust-A-Move, the real Bust-A-Move. And the U.S. just had to be renamed to Bust-A-Groove because Puzzle Bobble got renamed to Bust-A-Move for some stupid reason. But this is a rhythm game, a side-by-side rhythm game. It's really funny. And this is the sequel to that. And this was the game. See, we had the U.S. version of this. And then when I heard there was going to be a Bust-A-Move 2, I didn't think it would be imported. I didn't think it would be brought over to the U.S. So I modded my PlayStation to be able to play foreign games. And then eventually Bust-A-Groove 2 did come out. But it was. I didn't think it would be because of, well, they censored a lot of stuff out. But that's another video for another day, I think. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Played this one to death. I really did. Chrono Cross. I'm keeping this because it's a sequel to Chrono Trigger, and I still have yet to play through that. Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. I don't know why 3 is first. And you know why it's first? Because it's the only one I have. I don't have 1 or 2 for some reason. Now I gotta, in my mind, gotta remind myself I don't have Crash Bandicoot 1 or 2. Crash Team Racing. It was actually a pretty decent kart racer, which is why I kept it. Okay, Dance Dance Revolution 1 and 2 I was gonna sell, but nobody bought it. So I decided to keep it because if I couldn't sell it for the price I was asking for, I would rather just keep it because I kind of do have some nostalgia for those games. So I just kept it. Darkstalkers 3, I remember buying this. You know, give me a second. I need a chair or something to sit on. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, and we were left off at Darkstalkers 3. Oh, so much more comfortable sitting. Okay, then I got Destruction Derby 2, which I actually like more than Destruction Derby. There was a lot more to this game, I think. The physics were improved, and your car could actually get launched up in the air, and I just liked it more. Devil Dice, really fun game. I played this a little bit when I was determining whether or not to keep games or not. So again, that got instantly kept in the keep pile, I guess. Dino Crisis. My wife really wanted to keep this game. Einhinder, great shoot 'em up. How could I get rid of that? Fear Effect. I don't know why I'm keeping this. I think my wife really likes the game. That's why we're keeping it. And then, of course, same reason for this one here, Fear Effect 2. We got Fighting Force, which I really like. I like it, so I had to keep it. We got Final Fantasy VII. I played this game to death, so I'm really just keeping this for nostalgia reason. Same thing for this one, Final Fantasy VIII. There's really, I don't think there's any reason I'll play this again. It's just nostalgia reason that I played through it. This one I haven't quite made it all the way through for some reason. I never finished it. So I might have to start this one again from scratch one day. Galarians, my wife. Somebody told my wife that she'd like this game, so we got it. I don't know if she's ever played it or not, but that's why we're keeping it. It's really her game. Gekido. Something about this game. I don't quite remember, but I remember when I played it, something about it made me like it. Ghost in the Shell. I'm kind of surprised I have this because I thought I got rid of it. But, yeah, I'm glad I kept it because it is an awesome game. Hot Shots Golf, keeping it because I really like the Hot Shots Golf series, but the first one in the series is really rough to go back to. But so yeah, just keeping it for nostalgia. Same thing with Hot Shots Golf 2. I think the series really came into its own in the PlayStation 2 series of games. Jet Moto, I rented this and thought the game was crap originally, but then I didn't really realize about the tethers. And after I did realize that, the game was a lot much more fun to play. I'll have to get the regular version, not the greatest hits version, someday. Jet Moto 2, same thing. Jet Moto 3, again, got to keep them all. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Keeping this one because I really haven't played it. I played it a little bit just to test it. But I'm really starting to be a fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So even though I may not have played it, or even if I don't think I like the game, I'm going to keep it just because of what it is. What is this? Kodaka, whatever. Again, my wife's game. It's one of my wife's type of game, not mine. I wouldn't have kept it, but she did. Oh, Lemmings, I don't know. More Lemmings. The classic Lemmings games on the PlayStation. And guess what? It works with the mouse. and I have the mouse, so it's awesome. Mega Man 8, I remember being excited when this was coming out, because this was like the first Mega Man game on the PlayStation, and yeah, so I had to buy it. And this is not that copy. I think this is another copy I wound up buying, because I think I sold that game eventually. Mega Man X4. I don't know how many Mega Man X's are on the PS1, but I remember this one because I borrowed it from a friend and I played. I don't think I beat it, but I got through most of the game. Again, we got Mega Man X5. I don't know if there is an X6. There probably is. Maybe there's an X7, X8. I don't know. Whatever they're doing with the Mega Man games. This was back when they were making Mega Man games like crazy. Not like now where they don't like them for some reason. Midway's Arcade's Greatest Hits Atari Collection 2. This is a sequel to another game I think I have in here somewhere. But I'm keeping this one because it's got Road Blasters on it. And that's really the only reason I'm keeping this one. Moto Racer. This is a really good game. I played that on PC a lot, and I really liked how smooth it is. And it works pretty good on the PlayStation as well. We got Moto Racer 2, keeping it because they're sequels pretty much. Then we got Motor Toon Grand Prix, which I really like. I remember having this game back in the day. This is actually the second game in the series. The first one never came out in the U.S. Might have to track that down one day, but this game I think is really good. I like the way everything's all cartoony and the cars morph when they're turning and stuff to turn into the turn. All the cars are so different. I mean, there's motorcycles completely different. There's a train that is very hard to turn and a UFO that floats all over the place. They did a really good job with this, I think. And you know what's funny? This is made by the same people who wound up making Gran Turismo. Mr. Drill. Speaking of Gran Turismo, I don't have it. I probably got rid of it because I didn't think I'd ever play it again. So yeah, don't think I'm going to cry over that. Mr. Driller, really great game. I remember specifically looking for that one after somebody recommended it to me. N2O Nitrous Oxide. I got this game after seeing Classic Game Room episode. Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit. I played Need for Speed 3 a lot on the PC, so I just decided to pick up the PlayStation version later on after, you know, I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that game. I'll get it on PlayStation. Need for Speed High Stakes, same thing. I played this on the PC and I was like, oh, I'll just get it for the PlayStation now. NHL 99. I'm keeping this one because I played this one to death. I don't play sports games that often, but when I do, it's usually like a hockey game or a football game. Hockey more often than football these days, but yeah, this happened to be one of the years I picked up a hockey game, and I played a lot. I played it a lot. No One Can Stop Mr. Domino. This is a pretty interesting game. It's really worth having. Got Pac-Man World. Something, I don't know why I kept it. I think my wife wanted me to keep it. I don't know if I was too impressed by this, but I think there's like a bonus game in here, too. It's got the original Pac-Man in there, but I don't know if that was enough for me to want to keep it. Parappa the Rappa. This this game, so many memories with this game. So yeah, I still have some of the tracks to this game in the car. Sometimes, and it drives my wife crazy. She's in the car, and one of those songs comes on. She just automatically skips it. Parasite Eve. You know what? We have two copies of this because I know there's one upstairs too. Point Blank 2, and Point Blank 3. Great shooters on the PlayStation using light gun. I know I made Crow Plays videos for all three of these. Power Rangers Zeo. Full Tilt Battle. Pinball. I rented this at one time, and then I got the urge to play it again. I wound up buying it off eBay. I did make a Crow Plays video on this one, too. Pro Pinball and Pro Pinball Fantastic Journey. I was originally going to sell these, but then I decided to keep them just because they were pinball games. Project Horn Owl. I think I rented this one, but I did buy it for cheap later on. This uses the mouse, and I like playing this with the mouse. It's got a really cool anime feel to it. Ridge Racer Type 4. It's a game I really haven't played, but I have the controller to... it's like a jog count. I don't know. They got weird names for these controllers, but Yeah, it's one of the few games that works with that weird controller with the dial in the middle, and it's got force feedback. It's great. And there's Rage Racer. I did put a lot of time into this one back in the day. And we got Rally Cross down here. This one I remember... No, I bought this one, and then I could not figure out how to control the car, and I got mad, and I kind of sold the game off. But I'm willing to give this one a second chance, because it is kind of impressive with the physics and everything. Rayman, I kind of didn't like Rayman. Still don't kind of like this game, but I feel it's one of those games I have to give a second chance to. And this is backwards. Rampage Through Time. I wasn't too big of a fan of the reboots, but I was willing to play this one again sometime, I think. That's why I'm keeping it. Rival Schools, an awesome fighter with rival high schools. And just kind of weird type of fighting game, so I had to keep it. I like weird fighting games, even if nobody wants to play them with me. Road Rash Jailbreak. I remember finding this at Goodwill, and this might be the good Road Rash game in 3D, not the bad one. But this might actually be the last Road Rash game they've made. They really need to make another one. Skull Monkeys. Look at that eyeball move. Yeah, kind of an offbeat, wacky type of game, and that's totally the type of game I'm willing to keep. Soul Blade, otherwise, was the arcade name Soul Edge? This is the prequel to Soul Calibur, and then everything after that got named Soul Calibur, so I think I gotta keep this. It's pretty impressive. Spider. That's funny. He's got like a machine gun in one hand and a knife in another hand. My wife really likes the concept of this game, and she would not let me sell it. But I've seen some footage of the game. I don't think I've played this myself, but it's so weird it's worth me to keep. Street Fighter Collection. This has got, what, 3 games in it? It's got Super Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Alpha Gold, and Super Street Fighter Turbo. I'm keeping this really for Street Fighter Alpha 2 Gold, because this, at the time, was the only way you could play that. It was like an update to Street Fighter Alpha 2. And to me, it just was like a game that came with 2 bonus games. And that was the one I played a lot. So, almost nostalgia is why I'm keeping that one. And we had, I see Tekken 2 and Tekken 3 and no Tekken. But I do have Tekken. I just have the disc only. And I'll show you, if you watch my PS2 collection, it's actually in a combo pack with the PS2 games. That's why it's out there. In fact, Tekken 2 might not even be in here. Or it might be in here and I just have a double copy of it. So maybe one day I'll have to get a box and a disc for... Yeah, I have copies of those too. So Tekken 1. I know I have it. I just need to... maybe get another copy so I could put it on here, because I'm a weirdo like that. Tempest X3, I love this game. I love how it works with the mouse, too. Even without even saying it works with the mouse, it really does, and it really makes a huge difference. 10-Pin Alley was like the first bowling game that I ever played that felt really, truly realistic. And then Twisted Metal 2 and Twisted Metal 3. And Twisted Metal 2 is really good. And earlier you saw Twisted Metal 1. So 3 is not that great, but I just kept it just because it was part of the series. I don't have Twisted Metal 4, but I do have Twisted Metal Small Brawl. So it's like radio-controlled cars fighting each other. Yeah, I thought it was pretty neat, so I kept it. And we have Jammer Lammy, which is the pseudo-sequel to Parappa the Rappa. And then I have the Japanese version of it. And the reason I went with I got both of them is because this is the version I originally played. And recently, I got the Japanese version because I always wanted to play the uncensored version of the game. They censored some stuff in this version and redid one of the acts. So I wanted to play the original one, and I did, and I'm just glad I have both of them. Then we have Vib Ribbon, a game I don't even know how to explain this. You put in your own music CDs, and you make Vibri, his name is Vibri, run through the levels. You have to hit the buttons at the right time, and the levels are generated with the music. So, and even the music that the game comes with is pretty weird. So, yeah, there's that. Wild 9, I kind of like this game. I don't know how to put it. It just seems pretty cool, so I had to keep it. And then we have Williams Arcade Races. I knew I had this is the original one, but because I have them alphabetically, they're not together. I just kept it for nostalgia, because I remember renting this in the long box. Yeah, there's only 6 games in it today. That's like nothing. So I don't know. I'm just keeping that for no particular reason. Wipeout Excel. This is my favorite Wipeout game of the PlayStation series. That is. I mean, granted, the newer ones are, I think, better, but this one really blew me away when it came out. They took the original Wipeout and they really made it better, which I thought was impossible at the time, and I was really surprised. Wipeout 3 didn't really connect with me the way Wipeout Excel did, but it was still an awesome game, and I did eventually pick a copy up for myself. So that's all of the PlayStation games I have down here. Now I'm going to cut, because I know there's some PlayStation games upstairs that my wife keeps upstairs. So we'll cut there, and I'll catch you back soon. All right, next up for the PS1, we also have upstairs Clock Tower and Clock Tower 2, The Struggle Within. My wife just wanted to keep them together. She likes these type of games. She wanted to keep them together along with all the Clock Tower games together. So, all right, what do we got here? Also, we have for the PS1 Parasite Eve, which is along with the other Parasite Eve game. We're missing Parasite Eve 2, actually, so that's one of the games we're going to have to be on the lookout for. For the PS1, we have Silent Hill, just up here with all the other Silent Hill games. All right, also for the PS1, we have Resident Evil and Resident Evil, the Director's Cut. This is the original Resident Evil. It's just not in the long box. If I did find it in the long box, I think I might get it if it's a good price. But then we have the Director's Cut as well, which is supposedly uncensored, but is censored. Resident Evil 2, which is actually my favorite game in the series. And then Resident Evil 3 Nemesis and Resident Evil Survivor. All right, those were all the games that my wife had. So, thanks everyone for watching. See you all next time. Bye.